Good day everyone, this is Nemesis, and I just wanted to make this short video in which I will address some of the issues you might be facing while using SonyVegas Pro 11 or 12. Some of us that have been using SonyVegas for a while now know that this program is very unpredictable, extremely unstable, and just so I won't even go into more details. Suffice to say that over a year and a half I learned some tips and tricks. You can use Google. Most of us know that Google is your friend, but some of these things don't work or might make it worse than it already is. Some of these things do work. I just want to share my experience on a few problems that are quite common. So I will address the black screen issue, I will address various crashes, and a few workarounds if you can't even load your project at all. In my research, when I was trying to figure out various solutions for my own problems, I saw a person that spent 1 year of his life. He dedicated 1 year of his life to a project, and then the project wouldn't load anymore, and support couldn't help, no one could help, and he was devastated. He was literally devastated. He said, I don't have the article now, he said that he was crying near his computer for hours. So definitely not something I would wish to anyone. I know how frustrated I get when I lose my projects and I only invest like a week. I mean, the editing process is a few days plus a few days acquiring the footage, sort of a week, but that person lost a year of his work. So let's begin. The black screen issue. This is quite common. You finish rendering a certain project, you have the final form, and after it's all finished and it seems perfect, you go through the movie you created and you see that you have segments, you have bits of it just black screen, you have audio but you don't have any video. That thing is caused sometimes by, let me show you. As you can see, I clicked outside my project and I have media offline on all. And if I click back in, it takes a second to load because I have a monster computer, so it's loading quite fast, and it works again. This is a very delicate problem while rendering, especially if you have, like me, 1,000 director cuts. Anyway, the offline media and the black screen issue after rendering seem to be connected with each other. So apparently a solution to this, it worked for me quite a few times. Actually, it worked all of the time. I never got black screen after I used this, but don't quote me on this. I'm not sure if it will work for you, but I'm just saying what worked for me, and this is, for me at least, was a 100% fix. So you go at options, preferences, and under general you have close media files when not the active application, close audio, and MIDI ports when not active application, and you deselect these two, apply OK, and you restart the program. The second thing I will address is error at the end of rendering. I'm not sure if I can show it now. I have a few screenshots. Sometimes you render something and at the end you get SonyVegas has stopped working for an unknown reason, something like that, or it just gives you a bad DLL or something like that. Well, this issue is not actually generated by a DLL, as I found out. This issue with crashing at the end of the render, this issue seems to be fixed by doing the following. Go at render as. Fucking hell, man. Right. Sorry about that. Speaking of unstable programs. So you go at render as, you choose your preset. Usually I use Internet HD 1080p with a bit of more customization, but that's just my own personal preference. You go customize template and you use render using CPU only. Usually it's set to render using CUDA if available, but that will use your GPU, and this program is a bit unstable when it comes to that. It doesn't fully synergize with the drivers on your graphics card, so it might be a problem. Rendering using CPU only seems to fix, in about 80% of cases, the render crash at the end of rendering. The next thing I will address is if the render crashes at the beginning. When you just start, it's like 1% and it crashes there. or I've seen this a lot of times as well, the render keeps going but the seconds never update. So basically you don't see an updated image. It's like an infinite rendering loop. It will literally go on forever without actually doing anything. It's weird. So initial rendering crash plus the infinite rendering problem. That sometimes can be fixed by just resetting the temporary files in SonyVegas, and for that you go Control key plus Shift key plus double click it, and as you can see you have the option, do you want to reset all Vegas Pro preferences to default value. Sometimes the non-default values are problematic for whatever reason. So if that doesn't work, I have another solution for you which is really weird, and it worked 4 times already for me. It might not work for you, but it did work for me 4 times in a row. So basically you want to render this segment here. I think I can even show you guys. This was the last problem I had with this video. Took me 2 days to figure it out. Eventually I tried the same thing like last time. I should have done it sooner, and it worked again. So you go render as, I choose my usual rendering options. Actually I'm just going to choose the one I made before, render using CPU only, render loop region only, render, and there you have it. As you can see, problem, SonyVegas Pro blah 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 plugin blah 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 stop working. So the first solution would be to replace the DLL, but that will cause a lot more problems than fixes. Replacing the DLL is for when the project doesn't want to open. As soon as you open the project you get this error. That's the next problem I will tackle. For now you have to keep in mind that this did not work. We open the program again. And we have basically the same thing. So what we do now, we open another program again. Watch this. So now we have 2 separate programs. An optional part to this step would be, before you do this, delete all these temporary maintenance files or utility files, whatever you want to call them. It's mp4.sfk. Every time you put something into SonyVegas, it creates this temporary file that SonyVegas uses in order to process your content. So delete all of these so that when you open the project, SonyVegas would have to reread all the data so it's as fresh as possible. Maybe do even a reset like I taught you with Control Shift and double click. But that is optional if you want to go the full method. I had to go the full method a few times. Hopefully this time I won't have to. So basically we select everything. This is really confusing. I have no idea why it's working, but it worked a few times already. You do Control C, basically copy, Control C, you go in the new project and you go Control V. So now everything has transferred. My bad. Right, I transferred everything twice. Good times. So everything has now transferred into a new project. Basically all I did was copy all the information in the initial project into the second one. As you've seen, in the initial project the information did not want to render, it crashed as soon as I tried. Okay, we are going to wait a few seconds so everything gets loaded up. We close our initial project, we leave this one. You might want to save and re-enter the copy of the initial project just to be sure. You select everything, you go render as, internet HP, customize template, use CPU only, OK. Render loop region only, render. And voila, it works. I have no fucking idea why it works, but it does. It actually saved 4 of my projects, and I should have known by now. Every time I get a problem I should do this, but I keep trying to fix it through other really complicated and unnecessary steps. Just check every part of the files if they're not corrupted, open them with different other programs, check a lot of details I won't bore you with now. But as you can see, this is simple, elegant, it works for I have no explanation for why that is. If this doesn't work, like I said, try to delete the temporary SFK files and have SonyVegas reread them. Okay, I'm not going to let this go on. It obviously works. This video has already been uploaded to my YouTube, and I use this method to get it working. So it actually works. So hopefully you guys understood what I said so far. I try to speak more rare, is the word, so you guys get what I'm saying, because it's as you can see, it's working, and I know how frustrated I am with these problems, and I wish I could help out. I'm doing this for all the people that have problems, whoever you are. Just enjoy. So the last problem that I will tackle, I actually don't have, I cannot showcase it now. I fixed that problem and I deleted the footage and the project and everything. I don't have anything left, so I can basically showcase the problem. I didn't knew I'm going to make a video in which I try to provide solutions to these kind of problems, but they seem to be all over the place, and I thought I would share some of my knowledge that I acquired. So the description to the problem is as follows. You try to open the project, and as soon as you open, you don't even finish loading and you get the error on screen. The error you previously saw, you get it on screen, and your project doesn't even open. That's the worst. You can't actually do the method that I showed you. You can't copy paste from one project to another because of this problem. It doesn't even want to open. That can be caused by a lot of issues. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to go into the solution. The first thing you do, you go Control Shift and double click to reset all SonyVegas preference to default values. You enter, you exit immediately. Then you go where your footage is and you delete absolutely all SFK files. You don't enter the program yet. Then you go to your SonyVegas shortcut, you hit Properties, you go Open File Location, you find your SonyVegas folder, you go to File Your Plugins something, you go MCMP4 plug 2, then you find this file MCM4 plug 2.dll, and you make a copy of it. I call it the original. Then you download this file from the internet. I'm just going to demonstrate here. Google MCMP4 plug 2.dll, download, and you'll find the original DLL somewhere around here. You download it. 506.255. Now it doesn't have to be this link, just something that looks pretty much official. I saved it to desktop, and as you can see, this one will always be smaller than your original one. This DLL will always be smaller than your original one from your installation. As soon as you put this DLL in and you overwrite, I think I'm even going to show this now. I have my original, copy and replace, and if I now open the project, it will look something like this. Here is where the magic would have happened if I was recording at the time that I had this problem. You could now open the project that you couldn't open previously. So we assume that we cannot open this project because as soon as we open it, it's going to give an error. Now, after you switch this DLL, you could now open the project. The problem is you cannot render it. As you can see, everything is a red screen or a black screen or some form of screen and just wouldn't work. If I even try to render it, I'm missing most of my render options. Everything is really weird and not working. So what I do, just like before, I select everything, I copy, I open a new SonyVegas, I paste, and you guys probably know where this is going towards. As you can see, it's reloading everything in the project, so we'll have to wait for that. Basically, you put it in a new project, you save, you replace the DLL that you got from the internet with your original one. I'm just going to show you guys as soon as this finishes. So I'll be back in a few moments. Okay, it finished loading. So you guessed it. Basically, you have this saved in a new project. You still cannot render it because of your DLL. You save this new project, let's say blah blah. You exit the previous one, you replace this DLL with your original, copy and replace, and you open your blah blah, and there you have it. Your project is now saved, usable, renderable, and you didn't waste a year of your life for nothing. So this was all the tips and tricks that I learned over the year when I was video editing. I really do hope that everything I said today in this video works for you as well. It worked for me plenty of times. It's not guaranteed because I have no idea why it is working, but when you're losing a lot of your work and you have nothing, absolutely no idea, no guarantee that even if you remake everything, you will get it right the second time. Maybe you will remake everything and it won't work the second time, which will put you in a world of just frustration. So in order to prevent something like that, because I know what I went through, I made this video. Hopefully it will help you guys as well. If you found this video helpful, if my methods worked for you, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and share maybe, just so it gets a bit of rating, so more people see this video if they are looking for a solution. If they type one of these problems on YouTube, it should be among the top videos because it's a valid solution if it works for you, like I said. So until next time, enjoy your whatever you are doing and have a nice day.